everybody, 5 things that I hate about the Mazda RX-8. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about personally the things that I don't like about the Mazda RX-8. And you can ask any one of my ex-girlfriends, they'll tell you I've been wrong before and I might even be wrong right now. My narcissism won't allow me to fully commit to that, but I will say that I may not be accurate in your point of view. But these are 5 things that I hate about the Mazda RX-8. I want to start off by saying that I absolutely love this car. Out of all the sports cars and even hypercars and all that, there's just something about the rotary thing that is unique. You got your hypercars, sports cars, and all these crazy different levels of horsepower and all that, and those are all very similar in respect to the fact that they all are trying to do the same thing. Go faster, be aggressive, stand out, all these things, and that's awesome. I love hypercars as well, but off the bat, the thing the RX-8 has going for it is unique out of the factory. I mean, you're talking about a rotary. Fire-breathing animal that is unique from the factory. That's unique just off the bat. So this is my second all-time favorite car, and I'm super stoked that they're so affordable right now. Parts still suck because they are a little bit of a rarer car, especially since the engines blow up, people panic and just throw them away. But we'll get into that. Number 1, and in no particular order of relevance, maintenance. The maintenance on this thing is crazy. I honestly do believe one of 2 things needs to happen if you have an RX-8. 1, you need to be mechanically inclined, because it's going to test you. It's going to test you like that girlfriend who's constantly asking you if this picture needs a filter, or if this picture makes her look fat, or if this picture needs to be narrowed down. Listen, lady. I'm sorry, I digress. That's a personal thing. I'm going to put that off to the side. What I'm trying to say is the car will constantly test you. Whether or not it's vacuum leaks, or it's overheating issues, or an electrical issue, stereo issue, airbag sensor issues, catalytic converter issues. There are so many things that go wrong because this engine should not do what it does. It shouldn't exist. It's super powerful for such a small size. It does so much with so little, and because of that, a lot of things get tested to their limit. It produces a lot of heat. That puts a lot of strain on parts that usually wouldn't have those issues. Your ignition coils, for instance, the upgrade for the LS coils has little heat sinks on the back of them to distribute that extra heat that they're going to be under, because they're sitting right on the engine. The spark plugs are expensive. Wires have to be a certain type of wires. I mean, like, everything on here, the maintenance is crazy, and this car will test you. I mean that. And I swear to God, if I have to answer one more Instagram filter pic about whether or not these hips don't lie, I'm not sure if I'm upset with my girlfriend or the RX-8. But that's number 1. Number 2, and maybe I'm being a little bit nitpicky here, but the quality of the body parts. Now, a lot of this car is aluminum, so as somebody who does paint and body work, I know that that's not the easiest thing to work on, and that doesn't make me very comfortable, because a lot of times when you're working with aluminum, it can be very, very unforgiving. More so than that, this particular kit on this car is the Mazda Speed Kit, which is the original Mazda OEM Mazda Speed Kit. So the fitment, it's great, but it's starting to like crack in some of the body panels. I know on the rear bumper it's not very noticeable, but there is a crack going down it. On the side skirts where they hook up into the fender well, there's cracks going into the I believe it's polyurethane. I'm not really sure what Mazda uses. It's not like your black aftermarket polyurethane. It's like some kind of yellowish material. But I can tell you right now, working on it has been no picnic. I'm very, very delicate around those parts, and doing the Plasti-Dip paint job on here, I wanted to remove that and paint it thoroughly. So I did go through and try and remove the body panel parts, front bumper, side skirts. I didn't do the rear bumper because I can already tell that was going to be a nightmare. But it is definitely very fragile, which if you go on the forums, you'll see that's a common issue with the Mazda Speed stuff. So, common issue. Number 3, and this one is one that comes up a lot. A lot of these other issues you kind of overlook, but this one just nags me so much, is that the rotary community is that of a tight community. Like that is a very tight community, and I've met a lot of really cool people in the Mazda community. It's awesome. A lot of the support I'm getting from these videos is Mazda people, and I'm just stoked that is a thing, because honestly, I like doing this, and whether I get views or not, I'm probably going to still do it, but I really do enjoy the fact that Mazda sticks so close. Where there is a caveat to that is there are some real scumbags in the RX8, particularly the RX8, maybe even a little bit of the RX7 community, due to the fact that some of these cars are pretty affordable. People panic. They don't understand. Once the car starts having problems, everybody tells them, yep, motor's going out, getting you a new motor. So they panic, and they sell them for super cheap, because they just listen to everybody that's an internet genius that just wants to throw words around. There's a lot you need to go into these cars to really dig into it and see what they need, if they need something. And in this particular case, I think that there's just so much hatred and just rude, angry, insecure, belittling people that just want to hate on you. Just hate on you because of the fact that you're doing something different than what they're doing. My car is very unique, for instance. I have a color shift pearl paint job, Plasti-Dip. I have aftermarket wheels with a pretty aggressive staggered pattern. I have fully custom LED headlight setup. I carbon fiber wrapped my hood. There's a lot to be hated on here, and I think that because my car doesn't fall within the confines of what somebody started telling somebody is great, there becomes this perpetuating issue where just like somebody got picked on because they tried putting something on their RX8 once and they just got probably annihilated. So the next thing you know, that person's so insecure and got his feelings hurt so bad that he now goes around on the forums, on Facebook, on every community board that they can find, and anytime something even remotely stands out is not OEM, Ricer, garbage, ruin the car, hate you, you piece of shit. They get angry, just legitimately angry. Like, they're reliving that moment that Uncle Tom said, hey, let's go do exercise in the attic. They relive that moment in their head, and they lock into that, and they just spew hatred all over the keyboard. Like that time in Tijuana where I had too many Mai Tais. It's just... And then you cry in the shower, cold shower, and you get over it. But there's this community of support and love, and then there's this fine line where you got these few guys that just got dicked, and they're so angry that you would ever dare to do something different because they couldn't handle the criticism. The community. Number 4, which is a pretty obvious one. Number 4 is it's a problem. This car feels so fast and is so loud and obnoxious, and it does it for me. But it does have a slight issue, and that is the lack of torque. Now, don't get me wrong, you can manipulate this thing to do what you want it to do. You want to get some tire going, that can happen. Just got to give it enough RPMs. When you're coming from a dead stop, you got Subaru FanFest next to you, and he's thinking that he's going to race you with his all-wheel drive turboed engine, and your car looks fast as fuck, so he's like, I'm going to take him. I can feel it. He's sweating. He's listening to Eminem on the radio. He's got his hat, flat bill, of course, tilted to the side ever so slightly because he's not a homo, and he has a killer, gigantic vape pen with like 10 pounds of batteries in his hand, just waiting for that thing to make him look cooler. And you go, because, well, let's face it, if you drive an RX8, you have self-esteem issues, and you gun it. And he just, boo! You might start to catch up after 5,000 or 6,000 RPMs, but until then, my man, you might as well be quilting a blanket, because you ain't going nowhere. Number 5, pretty easy one, and I'll end it at this. Interior. I love the interior, but I hate the interior. Let me explain why. Love the fact that we're paying homage to the rotary. Love it. I mean, after all, that's kind of a lot of reason why we're into this, except for you LS guys, which nobody likes you, so stop calling. We love the uniqueness of the rotary. It's what makes the car awesome. And I don't mind the homage to that. What I do mind is the shitty stereo, the plastics that crack and wither, the fact that the interior, mine particularly, I want to go back to what I said at the beginning of the video. This is solely my opinion. But the red and black though, super aggressive. I will be doing a video on that because I want to change that. I want to go back to just straight all black, so I will be painting the interior on this particular one, but I'm not just trying to make a video exclusively about mine. I'm trying to make points in this video towards all RX8s, and I think the interior is lacking. But given the time frame, that's probably to be expected. I just personally, that's one of the things that I'm going to be putting a lot of investment into, because I want that to be better. I want to make RX8 great again. That's my Trump hair thing I do. That's not good. Okay, anyways, so that is it. That's the 5 things that I absolutely hate about the RX8. Not mine in particular. Across the spectrum, just Mazda RX8. And if this offended you, please tell all your friends and tell them to come watch this video. Explain to them that I am a huge douchebag and that they have to see me. It's a spectacle. Also, like, subscribe, or dislike To each his own. And please follow me along this journey of building this thing up. I need the haters too. I need those guys around because they're really good publicity. I subscribed to a Ricer rx8 forum recently, and it's almost too easy because some of these guys have just so much hatred. You can just feed that troll for days, but it's really good advertisement. So I need those guys too. Don't feel discouraged about hating on this car or me or my face. I have a hateable face, I've been told. That's acceptable. Just like, dislike, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and I'll see you next time.